Hey, and welcome to another show, another podcast. Really, really excited to be here today with an awesome and incredible woman who's just been literally just flying through with some incredible achievements over the last few months, and just seeing her really swinging through it. For those of you who are listening, my name is Asia Othman, and in this program, in this podcast, we really go and delve deep into things around coaching, really have deep coaching conversations. And we also talk to incredible coaches who have really made a dent in the world. And that's what this really podcast is about. It's about really creating those conversations and bringing those conversations out to the world. Really excited to have Ambreen Pervez with us today. She's an empowerment coach. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. So excited to be here with you.
It's incredible to see your journey. But before we kind of delve a little bit deep into what that looks like, can you tell us a little bit about what you do, who you help, and really what is the change and what is it that you actually offer into the world right now?
I'm an NLP trainer and trainer of hypnotherapy. And I'm also, as you mentioned, empowered coach. I empower female leaders to become their best version. And my vision is to create this leadership among our community where women, they come out of their shelter, like their victimhood, whatever they have created of self-doubt. They come out, become their best version and step into the leadership roles. Doesn't matter if there is like leadership roles in where they work or in their own life. It's just about becoming the leader you want to be, you want to become. So it's all about that.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that we've been working together for a while now, but I want us to just take a moment and step back, because this conversation today is really about where you are and what's kind of got you to where you are right now. And I want to delve a little bit deeper into that, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
What was kind of the biggest problem that you had before we met, or not problem so much, maybe like a struggle, your biggest fears, even like your mindset?
I think as a coach, when I started, I was still in the journey. And I think the biggest struggle for me was to become the confident coach. I had always fear of rejection. I was playing too small. I was doubting myself. I didn't know how to connect with people, even though I knew how to connect with them. But still, I was just in my own head. Every time I had conversation, it was like, okay, what's the next question? What's the right question? But actually, there is no right or wrong question. It's all about being present with that person and getting out of your head. So I think going back to that, I was just playing too small. I was just in my own victimhood, right? And I was so into buying the validation from other people, seeking the validation, even from my clients. Am I doing a good job? I'm being good enough for you as a coach? So it was all about me.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned a little bit about the self-doubt and things that were coming up. Tell us a little bit about that and then what that did for your business, because I think last year, before we kind of met, you barely had made even like 2,000 from your coaching, and you've gone from that place to 40K in 6 months. So let's go back there and what were you struggling with? Because you're an excellent coach, but what were the things that were coming up that were holding you back?
I think the imposter syndrome, as research have shown that 2/3 of females, they struggle with imposter syndrome. And I was actually one of them. Even though I coached females to get out of their imposter syndrome, but as a coach, I was having my own imposter syndrome. That am I good enough? Can I do this? And also, this becoming the businesswoman, that was totally like a bit unnatural for me at that time, because I was just treating my job as a hobby. I love to work with females. I love to help people. I have always been there, for everyone else. And when I started coaching, I was like, this is what I want. This is my call. But when I started, I was still in my own head. with my own self-doubt, like imposter syndrome coming up. How can I help them? So I ended up being a charity coach. So I was giving away everything for free. I would have 3, 4 calls. I would help the females or the women I coached to get the transformation for free, actually. And then I had to kind of reframe myself that, oh, that's okay, like no, Allah will reward you, having that pool mentality, that okay, that's fine, the pool will go to the Jannah first, so that's fine. And I was struggling financially, so having working with you, I have made that shift. No, I don't have a charity shop. I am a pro coach, I'm a professional coach, and
Yeah.
I'm adding value to people's life, and
Yeah.
I'm using my energy, my time to be there for them and giving them the transformation.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that, because we'll get straight into it. Like, what did you try that didn't work? What did, what did, I know that you tried a few things, with coaches and programs, and, you did therapy for quite a while even. So tell us a little bit about that journey. Like, what was it that you tried and what didn't work?
I think I tried actually when it comes to my own mindset. I feel like at that time I felt I've tried everything. This is not for me. This is not working. Maybe I should have listened to everyone else, because 9 to 5 job is so like it gives you safety, it gives you security, like financial security, what I have done. So there were lots of regrets coming in. I'm like, what am I doing? So lots of those kind of things. So I believe that at that time I felt I have done everything. But I think also um, the biggest shift was when I realized that I need to actually stop seeking validation from others. My cup is full. I need to raise my standard. I need to make that mindset shift, which I did with you. That was the biggest, like, kind of aha moment for me, because every time I did something out of my comfort zone, I was like freaking out all the time. I was like, oh my God, you know. But I think that's a part of the journey. When you are growing, you have to face some pains. You have to be okay to feel uncomfortable with new steps you're taking. And I have done that. And now I actually enjoy every moment when I'm stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I love that, because that distinction of really taking not just ownership, but be willing to go to that next level is really incredible. It's something that I've seen from you time and time again. Um, let's go back to before you set that initial payment, like to work with me. I know that it was probably the most you've paid for coaching at that time. Like, we don't have to really share like details, but like, how did you feel when you were like, yeah, I'm gonna go all in, and I'm gonna spend this money? How did that feel? Because I know at that time, you were struggling financially, you were not really at the best place.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Going back to that moment, I know that I was like, having lots of like, struggling financially, not in the best place. Lots of things can come into your mind, but I decided that this is what I want. This is what I need right now, and no matter what the price is, I'm gonna do it. But even though it creates like, how am I gonna pay? Like, now I'm struggling financially. How am I gonna pay for that coaching? But Alhamdulillah, I made it, and I paid you full in after a couple of months, which was like, oh my God, I did it. But I think it's all about making that commitment to yourself. That is not about that you are paying someone else for the coaching. It's actually about you. You are actually investing in yourself. You are investing in your business. You are investing in your personal and professional life, and also in your own mindset, because having this mindset shift takes you a whole another level. And that's so important, because lots of time coaches and even like people, they stop themselves, because of this, like they find the excuses, because they are so used to stay at the affected side. That is their comfort zone. So the price was actually out of my comfort zone. I took that leap. I took that step because I wanted to, become the pro coach, the professional coach, the best version of myself. I wanted to have that transformation, and it's all about actually investing in myself, having that the mindset shift that actually I'm investing in my own, in myself, and it's worth it. Every penny is worth it.
Yeah, I love that you made that shift, but it's important to also talk about those feelings that really do come up. Yeah, like me and you, it's been an incredible journey, but what's the main difference about maybe the coaching with myself and coaching compared to others?
I think not buying my own limitation as a leader. That was the biggest shift, that you literally took me, out of that bubble of my own victimhood, because I had many excuses. I had lots of excuses that were like golden excuses, to be honest. They were like, yeah, that's that's the reality. But just letting go of those limitations and making that shift and taking the ownership, stepping into my own power, becoming bolder, confident, and the leader I want to be. That was the main shift for me. You have to be the person. You have to raise up your standards as a leader, as a female leader. You're not, if I can say, allowed to play small. With you, it wasn't that wasn't an option. It was come on, girls, to go and do your work. And I remember that also the biggest impact was having that shift that because when people are in their own victimhood, they buy their own story, and letting go of that story and creating that the attachment to that story, because I was totally attached to my story, because it's a beautiful, painful story. Everyone can buy into that. So letting go of that was a huge shift for me. And also I remember that day when I was totally into my victimhood, and I was blaming, and I was saying, even I was blaming Allah for their circumstances. And you made that shift in me during that session. I get emotional because it was just realizing that Allah wasn't punishing me. Allah was actually, leading me towards my purpose. And having that shift in that session totally changed everything. Because when you are in your own victimhood, you buy your stories, you buy everything, and you end up indirectly blaming your creator. But having that conversation in that session, that changed everything, because I realized that Allah is the king of the king. He is the Almighty. He is not he never rejected me. He loves me. And when I needed that connection with Allah. I needed that. And when I connected with the higher purpose, with Allah, with myself, everything changed.
Yeah, and I think also a big part of that, which is credit to you, is the coaching journey with me and you hasn't always been really smooth. It's pushed you out. So tell us a little bit about just embracing that style.
To be honest, I had lots of minor heart attacks throughout this journey, because it's all about you literally transformed my life. You literally you were not buying into the excuses, even though how fancy those excuses were. You were this is just another excuse. Get out of your comfort zone. You were pushing me that I feel limitless now. For last year, even if I go back 1 year, even though I was having results with my coaching clients, but within me, I wasn't there. I wasn't playing full out, So you literally transformed my life. May Allah bless you a lot.
Yeah.
And, give you lots of pleasure. You literally transformed everything. And I think everyone else noticed that now, that I am not the same person as I used to be. I'm a totally different person. the Ambreen I am now, it's the Ambreen I wanted to be a couple of years back.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I was going to ask you, like, tell us a moment about like when it shifted. But I think that was that moment. It was that coaching conversation when we just had that deep, I think it was like, I don't even remember how long it was, but it was
Yeah.
that deep connection that just shifted everything for you. And I love that you said limitless, because I think that was the moment where it was just like, yeah, actually I can go from being limited to just being totally limitless.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us, like, you've told us like what life was like before, with the confidence, imposter syndrome. Tell us. I think last year it was only £2,000 or so. I think just over 2,000 that you actually made, and in about 90 days, we did about 30, just over 35K, and then then another month later it was about 40,000. So it's crazy to go from barely 2,000 to 40,000 in about 4 months. So tell us what life looks like now, that your problem is solved. What successes have you had? How's life changed? Like, what have you created? Um, you know, like in terms of income, in terms of clients, in terms of, I know you've got some incredible groups. You've been around the world. So tell us a little bit about that.
I think what I have created is that I have traveled around the world to create this awareness about NLP. I've been to Pakistan, different events in Pakistan, different TV channels to talk about about my purpose, about creating this awareness about NLP. What I also have created is this community of female leaders who want to become female leaders but are limiting themselves. So that's I really love working with those female leaders because they they are so ready. They are they're ready to step up to their best version. I've also created more confidence in my own life, financial freedom. That's alhamdulillah, and just being able to be who I am, without all those limiting beliefs and limiting decisions, just allowing myself to process the change and be who I am. And it's just been an amazing journey. Just yeah, just been amazing.
Yeah, you've got a couple of groups now. So tell us, like, what, obviously, you've been running those, and you've got an event coming up even like in a week's time in Norway right now where you're at. Tell us a little bit about what it meant, because I know we had this conversation about like going from not even 2K last year to like 40K. That's
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 a huge,
that's a huge shift.
yeah.
Like, what is the kind of mindset that you have, and how has that been for you? How has your life changed?
I think it's all about reconnecting with people and being present with those people. It's all about building that trust when you connect with people. Because what I did before was that I was, like as I mentioned, I was just in my own head. I was just being needy, needy, needy. Buy from me, buy from me. But now it's all about being building that trust. When I connect with people, it's not about, oh, this is my program. I connect with them, I find out about them, I give them a break, then I reconnect with them again to take it further. Then I have a break, then I reconnect with them again. So it's the whole process of just being able to serve wholeheartedly without being needy, that, oh, you have to buy from me, or this person, no, this is, you just have to buy from me. Now it's more like, because I am also, I would say I have slowed down. Slowing down has really helped me, because it's also realizing that when you slow down, things happen. The magic is in slowing down, because sometimes coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs, they think that when you start, you have to be in that rat race, right? Everything has to go like this. This program is not working. buy different programs, but it's all about actually slowing down, giving you that space to breathe and be in that present moment. It does something. And also
Yeah.
in the coaching sessions, before I was I was talking, I was just showing them, I was selling myself. Now it's all about slowing down and just listening and being present in that moment, you know.
Yeah.
And I would also, yeah.
And just on that point, what's been like one insight that you've made, and it's made like the biggest difference for you? Because I know you're talking about presence and how that's really shifted the way you coach now, and how that shifted the success you're getting with your clients. Like if you could sum up one insight and just say, this is really kind of what's made a huge shift for me as a coach, what would that be?
I think the the shift is that when I connect with people, I I connect with them to serve them. You know, I'm really sincere about finding out about them. It's not like being needy. It's just about every morning I ask myself, who can I serve today? Who can I help today? Who will benefit from my post? Who will benefit by having a conversation with me? And I write posts, and it's all about just being honest. Yesterday I wrote the post and someone commented, thank you for being honest, because lots of time coaches, they're not honest. They just show their best picture, and I shared my journey, that I too have been through that. Just having this honesty, being vulnerable and building that trust and being present with your audience, you know.
Yeah. And like, it's been incredible to see like everything that you're doing. What has the coaching allowed you to now go and create? I know you've got a big vision, and you've got a big mission. What has the coaching really allowed you to create in terms of all of that?
I think it has allowed me to create that freedom I always wanted. Freedom to travel, freedom to decide when I'm going to have coaching, freedom to create group coachings, freedom to create transformation in other people's life, and also freedom to be a mom and a wife, and with my family. That's also freedom I got from coaching.
Yeah, because I think that's been a huge importance for you, right?
Yeah.
We won't delve into like details, but I know that like that's been a huge achievement the past like few months. It's just being able to be there with your family.
Yeah. And being able to support them, because I always wanted to come to a place where I could support my family, and being able to support my family, it does something. It gives you the tranquility, the peace, you know, that you feel like aligned with your purpose, that this is the dream I had a couple of years back, and now I am able to do that. And also able, when it comes to family, also being able to set the healthy boundaries, you know. So it's all about, because before starting coaching, if someone could give me a trophy, I would win the trophy of being the number one people pleaser.
Yeah.
So now being able to set healthy boundaries and just being myself, being a bit more bolder, being a bit more, being myself, it totally has changed everything. And it all starts with you, because I think having this also having this shift that your business is not a hobby, your business is you. So you have to be that person all the time. You have to, step into that person. I think when I stayed with you 2 weeks in Norway, that also showed me that you were a running business all the time. And I was like, when do you switch off? And you were like, I'm always like that. That made a huge shift in me as well.
Yeah, and I think it's just the shift of like going from like, hey, this is this is just a hobby to actually this is something that is what you do. Like, you know, you just like you'd show up
Yeah.
in a professional career.
Yeah.
And I love that you mentioned that, because I think that switch has been incredible, and it's really, you know, I've seen that it's really allowed you to create so much more in your business. Yeah, so thank you for sharing. It's been incredible. Like, let's go to kind of describing, you know, myself or our coaching in a single sentence. You know, what would that be like? What's coaching being like in a single sentence?
It's bold, it's transformational, it's just awesome. It's just, if someone is sitting on the fence and thinking, just jump in it because it's worth it. You know, you will have the transformation, you will have the life you desire. It's just so worth it. I think I need more words to describe the coaching.
Yeah, and I love both, because I think that's something that, you know, we bring into our coaching every session. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, how can we be more bolder and more creative?
yeah,
Is the question that we start every coaching session with. So I love that you mentioned it,
yeah.
right? But it's
I
been,
want to say that what I love is that you guys are like, there for your clients all the time. You were there for me all the time, throughout, up and downs. I had you all the time, like, the support I needed and the direction I wanted. So, yeah, thank you for being there.
yeah, you're welcome. And you know, thank you for trusting me in the process. I think sometimes when you have these conversations, it's easy to say like, hey, you know, this person has gone from X amount to, you know, making this amount, and this is what's the change that's happened. But it's also a trust in the process, which is a huge part of it. And it's been incredible for you to show up, like, you know, as a coach, to just see you show up every time and trust in that process. Um, you've got an incredible vision. I'd love for you just to take a moment and share a little bit about your vision. You know, I know that you've got an event coming up, so maybe share, you know, a snippet of what that actually includes before we sign off.
My biggest vision is to create female leaders, by using NLP and hypnotherapy tools. Because I'm an NLP trainer, so I can teach the tools. Because I mean that NLP will transform people's life. It does. With all the tools you learn, it just literally transform your life. And by having those tools as female leaders, it's so helpful because you're not transforming your own life, but you will also transform the life of coming generations. And also wherever you go, it's so crucial to have tools that empower you, that make you step out of your comfort zone, that give you the power back. Because for centuries, women have actually given away their power to the culture, to the custom, to everything else. They have sacrificed themselves. So my aim is to make them realize that you can take back that power, and you can create the life you want. Nothing can hold you back. It's all about becoming, doing, and having it.
Yeah, I love that, because that literally sums up, I think, kind of what coaching is and what it entails. You know, I'm gonna put your details on. You know, if anybody wants to contact Ambreen and really get to know a little bit more about her. But thank you so much for, you know, sharing a little bit about your journey, and kind of snippets of what that's included. You know, it's been awesome. Like, I love chatting with you. You know, I love having conversations with you. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's just been an honor to be here with you.
Yeah, awesome. Until next time, we'll see you all on another episode.